Thank you for Patreon now for donating to the Patreon.
Hey guys, Vanity is back into the card fight Vanguard. As on the Vanity, because it was a joint tonight, shall we? This time we are covering some pretty decent support all around. Like, we got some nice support cards for everyone. We have the new Vairina, which I will bring up in context when we get there. And we have some information on set 8. And just something interesting that I feel like Blitz is using as a tactic, but that I jumped around within my Discord. So I was going to get the start shot when you can see what I mean by all these reveals. First up, we have some Sonitea reveals in Archaeologist Anteater, grade 2 5k shield, 10k base, auto when he's placed on rear. By soul blasting 2, choose one of your enemies in the same column as him, and they get plus 10 for the turn. Okay. That's a good skill, because simply put, if you use it in Leonore, while yes, Leonore already has its soul fixing issues, if you manage to use this in Leonore, one of your grade 1s will be swinging for a total probably of 23k booster, and then you can have the dragon help restand the Anteater for later, and with Persona Rides and other buffs like that, Anteater and his column will essentially be a big beat stick. So Anteater all around is pretty good, helps give power, so your Vanguard has more power in the sense that your rear guard is going to get more power. All around is a good thing because the other part about it is you can also place it behind the Vanguard and then she gets plus 10, so all around, or he, depending on what unit you're using, so all around Anteater is pretty good. I must say though, he's not my particular favorite one, and I'm pretty sure no one's going to use him, but you know, if I were to use him, I'd give him a 2 of. Then we have Float Assault, grade 2 and a 5k shield, 10k base, auto once per turn when this new attack hits. If you have a standing Vanguard Flagbearer in its card name, stand this unit. Okay, Flagberg finally got a little, well, they got another piece of support last week, but, So what I'm getting from this, no one in their right mind is going to let this hit. No one in their, unless you're playing someone who's drunk, blind, doesn't know how to play the game, or all three combined, they're not going to let this hit, because that's just a free stand. I mean, I can see occasions where they'll let this hit, but no one in the, again, I say no one in their right mind is going to let this hit. I mean, granted, it can hit anything, but no, fuck you. You're not getting Flagberg's restand off. Like, it's not bad, but like, there's no real way to guarantee it hitting, so 2 of because it's another restander, but I wouldn't roll it more than that. Though the reason why Flagbearer is not in a bad space yet is because of what they revealed about set 8. So first up, we have 2 new ride lines. This boy's from Dragon Empire, and he looks so like a Morikuma boy. I don't know if these are going to be glitter ride lines or not, but I assume they are based off what the next slide shows. And this is a Breakaway ride line, which honestly looks pretty cool. I'm kind of more looking forward to this one. I'm looking for this one, especially if it's another set order one. But, hey, this boy looks cool. Let's go. And here's something new. Glitter support. Now, before when I saw this, I was going to say, or when I heard about glitter support, I thought they were just going to give us, you know, new ride lines, because we all know I'm an advocate for that, at least new grade 3s. Now I know why none of them were name restricted to this very specific unit. We have a new Mikani. I mean, Mikani's the only one that doesn't look different, but like, yeah, these 2 look different. This definitely looks different than the other Maple, in my opinion. This feels different than the other Redlina. This is definitely different than, what's his name? The Obscudo. Like, we can argue that most of these aren't different because this one might be the same. I don't remember. I feel like this one is different though, guaranteed. But yeah, this one's guaranteedly different. So all around, we have some new glitter support. Most likely, all of them are new units. So pretty cool that we have new glitter units going into each deck, and that's amazing because all of them could possibly fit into one deck together unless these guys have like name changing abilities. So hell yeah, cool. I can't wait to see what they do, honestly, especially this one, because Eva's kind of been doing really good lately. Also, I can't wait to see this one, because this one looks the best to me, in my opinion. Like, that outfit looks so cool. Then we have what I call Bushy's logic of when one waifu set is done, Bushy must then put in other waifu decks or other waifu cards to bring in more people because waifu sells money. Clear evidence being these 2. I don't know what it is, but I've heard a lot more talk about Minerva, like right before this happened. I heard so much more people talk about Minerva, and I don't know why. Was this like a calling from the heavens that it was going to be Minerva's going to be our new ride line or something? But yeah, so Keter is going to be Minerva. Dark States finally is getting a ride line, and they're Lucaire. I mean, I think Keter is just the all-around ride line nation. They have 3 now: PBO, PBD, and Minerva. And then we have Stoicaea getting one. The only one left is Brandgate, and Stoicaea gets Maelstrom. Here's the... Oh, it just looked really weird. I thought it was cutting off his head. Here's the reason why Flagbear is not in a bad situation. Because all of Maelstrom supports are probably going to be restanders. And that means anything that's generic within Maelstrom's restanding support can be put into Flagberg. Just saying. So Maelstrom and Flagberg are about to have like a unity match, and then everyone that stands between either of them is gonna get a fucking face full of missiles and or guns. And then we have some more Keter cards. First up, we have Rotating Knight Gwendolyn. Grade 3 turns out Persona at 13k base, contains rear guard during battle she attacked. If you Persona rolled this turn, she gets +5. And if your opponent will call cards in guard circle, they have to call 2 or more at the same time. I honestly prefer Decordia, because while technically they do the same thing, Decordia doesn't require you to be a Persona ride, even if it's just a cost of a counterblast instead of it being free. I don't have to restrict it to a Persona ride, and it forces out the same amount of cards, if not more so, because it forces out grade 3s. So, yeah, I prefer Decordia. If you want Gwendolyn, 2 of it, but Decordia is just better in my opinion. And then we have Knight of Heavenly Sound Sonitea, grade 1 boost, 5k shield, 8k base, auto rear. At the end of battle, she boosted a Vanguard of Bastion in its card name. If your battle's drive check did not reveal a grade 3, sadly, which has been happening a lot to me lately. I increased my grade 3 count by 1 with my new Bastion deck. And I have not seen, and I've been having such shitty luck with drive checking grade 3s, and I don't know why. I blame either Angel or Hermona because those are the ones I added. I blame one of those two because there's no way that my deck was consistently hitting grade 3s before and now it's not, and I increased the amount by 1. Bullshit, it's not their fault because they were the 2 I added to cause this. So Counterboss 1, retire herself, stand a unit, or stand a rear guard. So it's good, you know, you get that pseudo stand. I'm not a big fan of it because you have to counterblast and she's not a grade 3 herself. I mean, for other people's builds that aren't, that do use that don't use all grade 3s like I do, this is definitely more useful because, you know, restanding rear guards, but, my deck, which is counterblast heavy, and should be seeing grade 3s consistently because it was before, thanks a lot, you fucking Angel and or Hermona. I might actually need to resort to running this to actually get that restand off now, because literally there used to be so many games where I could just bank it on seeing a grade 3 because I know I'm gonna do it. What happens? I don't fucking see grade 3s anymore. What's going on? What curse did who cursed me to do this? Sonitea, it's choose to run a 3 of, but like I should be checking my grade 3s normally, man. What the hell? Then we have some new Eugene cards, and Eugene got good. Like, I do want them to get a grade 4. I don't care if the grade 4 is good. I never cared for the grade 4 being good if it was going to make Eugene good. I just wanted a grade 4 so I could say Eugene had a grade 4. So we have Dragrider Midohato. Auto rear when your unit stands by card's ability. Retire this unit, draw a card. I really like that this thing is extremely generic, so even though it's obviously meant to theme-wise to be used with Eugene, it can be used with, I don't know, Nirvana, either of them, because they both have the ability to restand rear guards. Technically not Tamayura. Now Eugene can restand rear guards, and Bav can't yet. Bav cannot yet. Though I'm getting the feeling that's what the third arm's gonna do. So Midohato, pretty decent. I'm not a big fan of it, but you know, 2 of if you choose to run in a Eugene deck or any deck that can restand. Now we have Gunshot of Duststorm Andrea. Grade 2 turns out Persona, 13k base. Act rear. If you have Vanguard with Eugene's card name, retire this unit. Choose an opponent's rear guard, murder it. No. We have plenty of ways to kill the opponent's rear guards. We have plenty of ways to do it without having to retire. Now, is this a free way to do it? Because technically you could put it back on top and call it via other skills or open up rear guards for stuff. Yeah, do I think it's a good thing that's like that? Yeah. Do I not want to run it though? Yes, because simply put, it doesn't have shield, and I'm not willing to remove Tribash for this. So if you want to run it, 2 over 3 of because it's a very quick murder rear guard, but yeah, I'd rather have my Tribash, and I like having shield. Then we have the thing that makes Eugene a restander. Honestly, when they said Eugene was going to get a restander, I imagined it was actually going to be a rear guard that did the restanding, not a rear guard that gives Eugene the ability to restand. So Oswald is a grade 1 with boost, 5k shield, 8k base. Look at this man, he's fucking decked with guns and shit. So many bullets! Auto rear at the end of the battle, he boosted a Vanguard with Eugene in its card name. Still says Eugene in its card name. I fully believe we're getting a grade 4 at some point. If your opponent's Vanguard's a grade 3 or greater and they have no rear guards at all, yep, so if they have a unit with resist, well, fuck you, this immediately becomes a vanilla. Counterboss 1, discard 1, stand your Vanguard until end of turn, increase or decrease its critical and drive to 1. Okay, here's my question that I keep questioning about this. If you see a crit on your second Vanguard attack, can you increase your Vanguard's crit total? Or can you not? Does it stay a constant 1 after that point, or can it be increased after that point? That's my question. If it can't, cool. If it can, cool as well. Because typically the second attack, it's PG'd anyway, so I don't really have to care about this, but All around, Oswald is nice. It's a very simple cost to pay because not a lot of the deck uses counterblast. The deck definitely has the ability to discard hand cards, gives the Vanguard a stand, and honestly is cool. Eugene has definitely been getting a lot more good support in set 6. That's how it feels with Bushy. Every odd set, they give shit support. But every even set, they give okayish to great support. Like set 2, yeah, they got some really good shit. Set 4 was okayish. It wasn't amazing. It wasn't the worst either. And then set 6 was like, yeah, let's fucking go, because Eugene feels so good now. Like, we have this thing, we have the deck stacker, so I can abuse this thing by discarding it for ride deck, then calling it back. Eugene's gotten good. Eugene's honestly great. It dies to a resist unit now, but hey, Eugene's honestly good. So, 3 of 4 of in a Eugene deck, just because restands. And then we have a new promo grade 3 because they did it for Peltra. Why don't they just do it here for Dark States? And Dark Lord of Hades, Baphormedes. You want to the surprising part is this deck is somehow terrifying and not terrifying at the same time. Grade 3 to Persona Ride, 13k base. Cool ass art for the grade 3. Auto Van, when this unit attacks the Vanguard, put 2 grade 3 rear guards to soul. Draw a card, and this unit gets plus 10 to end the battle for every 3 grade 3s in your soul. When I first read that, I thought it was for every 1, and there was a game where I had 5 right up the gate. That was plus 50, and that's what I thought it was, and it was a 63k swing, and that was so fucking funny. But then I realized it had to be 3 or more. Why did it have to be 3 or more? I get the point of his ability, because if you look at it, they kind of resemble devil numbers to some extent, but like, should have just been for every 1, because honestly that's not a powerful, I mean, yeah, getting power is a lot, but it doesn't restrict PGs, so and then continues Vanguard. This unit gets all the following depending on the number of grade 3s in your soul. If you have 3 or more grade 3s in soul, all your grade 3 units get plus 5k shield and boost. Honestly, that's shitty though, because half the time with the deck I play with it, I have to call my grade 3s to rear to, actually use their skill or his skill to sub them to soul, draw a card, and get numbers. I feel like they should have the right to gain intercept, especially because we don't have a lot of super generic grade 3s to use. I mean, we have a decent amount, but like not a super good a lot you actually want to use, in my opinion. So I feel they should have had intercept, but whatever, boost is fine, because this deck still hits like a truck. And then 6 or more during the battle, this unit attack. If your opponent will play a card from a guard circle, they must play 3 or more at the same time. Oh, 3? I thought it was 2. Or no, maybe I did play 3 that one time. Okay, well, all around pretty good. Essentially pseudo Flagberg, forces them to drop 3 hand cards. Like I said, me personally, for that second skill, they definitely should have made it so that the grade 3s also gain intercept. But all around great. Like, the hand cards you get from it is nice. The numbers you can hit off if you have the right setup is amazing. Not to mention the extra shield, which can come back to help you in times, and the boost can be helpful as well. And the 6 or more, which is incredibly easy to hit, is good. And the best part is all of this works while the opponent's at grade 2. My only gripe with this is we don't have dedicated support for him. I really do wish he was a set 8 card, because if he was a set 8 card, we would at least get the Transrooter treatment where we get a grade 1 or grade 2 or even a grade 3 that supports him, because I feel like we just need 1 or 2 good cards that support him, and we honestly got a good deck going on, because we just need more supports for grade 3s, because right now he just feels like B-Tech Bastion. It's still fun to play, it's just not amazing, but we get some good generic grade 3s. Apart from me is going up to the top, so I don't know, 4 of it, because it's actually really fun to use. Then we have Broken Toys in order for Tamayura. Grade 1 normal order. You may play if you have a Vanguard Tamayura in its card name. So any grade, basically, that isn't grade 0. Look at top 7. Choose up to 1 card with Ramimi or Rami, and up to 1 Ramimi each from them, or from your drop zone. Put them to soul and shuffle your deck. If you have one of each Ramimi and Ramimi in your soul, draw a card. And then you can choose 1 from each of the check cards and your drop zone. So basically, top 7 and your drop zone, get both of them, and then you get a draw. The thing is, this sets you up for free. This thing sets you up for the entire game for free, because it gets you Ramimi, Rimimi, and it's a normal order, meaning it doesn't have to compete with the Blitz order you have for what turn you use it on. 3 of. Instant setup. You're crazy not to run out at least a 3 of. Then we have some new Wellster cards, which I've heard some people say they're good. In my opinion, they both suck, but whatever. Blitz Secretary Perfe, grade 2 and set 5k shield, 10k base. Auto when she's placed on rear. By counterbalancing one and putting a grade 2 or greater set order from your drops on the bottom, draw a card. Okay, she's not bad because she recycles your orders, and there are times where you're going to hit all your maximums, and you're going to want your maximums back in deck to get that draw. I get it, because that almost happened to me once. My issue is, though, it's rare that I end up hitting. I mean, I still hit my maximums and damage on pretty often, but still, one of them typically ends up in hand, and then one of them ends up in deck, and there are ways to place them from hand. So I don't necessarily think Perfe is good. The draw is nice, but the fact she has to use up a counterblast for it is what makes her not worth it to me. If she took a Soul Blast, instant 4 of in my deck. Because, honestly, my deck has more counterblast problems than soul problems, but like I said, she's a counterblast, so no, just... I can see the reason why for, like, recycling, so maybe a 2 of tech, but honestly, I can't see other reasons outside of it. And this one I hate. I hate for a burning passion. I love her art, I hate her skill. Blitz mechanic, Iskra. Grade 1 boost, 5k shield, 8k base, act rear. If you have not operated a product this turn by counterblasting one and resting her, choose a product in your zone and operate it, activate its operate ability. Okay. I hate this. A lot of people say this better than Ophelio. Here's my argument for you. Ophelio is a grade 2 with intercept, so you can call it and not waste its skill on, and not waste it with guarding. Second, he's a 13k base if you play your order. And third, my main gripe with this, he doesn't rest himself, meaning you can attack with him, use the order when you swing with Welstra, bounce him back to hand, and keep using him. Because being in on place is not that hard of a problem, and this deck does not have a soul problem. Even when I don't run Bobamine, my deck still would not have a soul problem unless I played 3 Ophelios back to back and I somehow didn't Persona Ride. Like, it's dumb. I don't think Iskra is that good, because she forces you to rest herself when Ophelio does the same thing, but for a Soul Blast cost, which is not a heavy cost in this deck, and doesn't lose benefits. In my opinion, this sucks. Do I still run her in my deck for the theme and just in case? Yes. But do I think Ophelio is 10 times better? Fuck yes. I can see reasons why you want her, but when Ophelio is in a deck where you can bounce him back to hand and pays a cost almost the exact same, and then the other cost he has to pay is a very easy resource to come by in this deck, I don't see reasons to think Iskra is better than him. This is a disappointment in my eyes, but I still give it a 4 because it's a Blitz mechanic and nothing else. Then we have Vairina. Been waiting to talk about this one. Even before I knew its skill, I knew I would hate it based off his art alone. So Fierce Artillery equipped with Baul Vairina, grade 3 twin drive persona at 13k base, crossover just 1 Trickstar 1 Paradragon unit, you know the standard, put it on top of the called units instead of normal calling it. So act rear, if this unit's in the crossroad state, by soul blasting choose an opponent's rear guard and kill it. Not a once per turn, forces you to drop 2 soul. While Braum, yes, he has to hit, but he's also not a he has a once per turn. Okay, Braum, while yes being a once per turn and having to hit to do it, not only guaranteedly has more numbers than Baul, but also does half the cost for double the output, because he could kill 2 units and not just 1. So I don't like Baul for that reason, because he feels like a worse version of Bram, and we all know how much I like Bram. But then his other ability, which both makes me like him and not like him, auto rear, when this unit in the crossroad state attacks a vanguard, he gets plus 2k on the battle for each of your opponent's open rearguard circles, so the most he will ever be is a 23. So already he's worse than Braum, because Braum would guaranteedly be at 23 regardless of what grade your opponent's at. And then if your opponent, and regardless of the rearguard number, then if your opponent has 1 or less rearguards, counterblast 1, to end the battle, he gets -1 drive and this unit performs a drive check. So the drive check's not bad. In fact, this is the only reason you'd use 1 in the anime. My issue is this. My Nirvana deck was super consistent with counterblast before. There was not a lot of cost givers, except for Braum, Baphormedes, and Nirvana herself. Baul immediately fucks that over because the counterblast to do this sucks ass, because now I have to... Because 1, it's numbers. I mean, yeah, it's stronger than Garo, but it's weaker than... Braum, who feels like a better version of it, because while this thing can technically kill a whole board in 1 turn, while Braum can only kill a column, I don't want to waste 8 to 10 soul to kill an actual board. That doesn't feel worth it to me. I'd rather just hit once or force them to drop at least 4 cards. That's what I would rather do, because Braum would just do that, or force out Interceptors, one of the 2. While his other skill, the drive check one, this is going to put you in a counterblast problem, buddy. Like, 3 counterblast in 1 turn just on 1 card? Like, I mean, granted, he's not a once per turn, but in my opinion, this doesn't go in a deck that uses all cross dresses. This goes into its own deck. You run Braum because it has numbers. Actually, no, you don't run Braum at all. You run Baul because it's built around Baul. Maybe run Garo. Definitely run Villas just because it has resistance. You can bounce it back to hand, and that's it. Because honestly, Baul feels like it's trying to compete with Braum in my eyes instead of actually being a separate unit, because they both do something extremely similar. Though I do like how Nirvana is taking the retire route instead of just being solely focused on your field. I do like that. I just hate the fact that it comes at a cost of this, and you can't even use its half of the important part of his skill if your opponent happens to have 2 rear guards. So take that as you will. He's not bad, but in my opinion, he is the most easy 2 of tech I have ever seen in my life for all the Vairinas. And that's saying something considering how much I hate arcs. So 2 of Baul. He has an okayish art, but his skill is like... It's not bad, but I can definitely see me only using this if I actually have to and not if I want to. And now we have some more Stoicheia reveals. First up, we have Sylvan Horn Beast Tigalta, grade 3, 200% right, 13k base, auto, back row, rear guard. When you're the unit in the same column as this unit attacks, that unit gets plus 10k for the battle. Okay, all around pretty cool because you can put it behind Magnolia, so if your Magnolia was ever having problems swinging, guess what, now Magnolia can swing bigger numbers, your other grade 2s can swing bigger numbers. Hell, Gunshot is going to get a lot fucking bigger now. Honestly, I think Tigalta is really good because it just adds that number, and even if it's temporary, like I said, if it goes to a Ganasola, it does so much more, and not to mention it's for free, and it can work with any unit regardless of who it is. So all around, I don't mind it. My only issue... Oh, wait, yeah, no, it wouldn't work with Ganasola because it has to be in the back row. So yeah, my only issue with it is that it has to be specifically in the back row. I think it would be better if it was in the front row because then it could, benefit the Ganasolas, but it's still a good card. It's not horrible, so maybe 2 of it, but honestly, yeah, now that I know that you can't use with Ganasola, I'm going to be like 50-50 on it. Then we have Noblesse Frittes. Well, for some reason you want another grade 1 for Leonor, that wasn't that good. Here it is. Grade 1 boost, 5k shield, 8k base. Continues rear guard during turn. If your opponent's vanguards are grade 3 or greater, he, she, it gets plus 5k power. There are better options. Like, I'll even say Susko is better than this, and we all know I hate Suskos with a burning passion. So if I'm willing to admit that Susko is better than this, then we clearly have a issue here. Like, the 5k, it's like there are better cards that gain 5k, and the ones that don't gain 5k have a good excuse for it. Like Amelia gets you a draw, which can be helpful in times. What's it called? Suskos gets forced interceptors. So like, Frittes isn't necessarily bad, but like, if you want that extra 13, go ahead, but typically I'm already swinging with like 3 13k boosters, so I don't need another one, so 2 of it if you really choose to run it. I mean, then again, you can also use it outside of Leonorn, but I don't really see reason to run it outside of Leonorn. Then we have Battalion Brave Shooter. This thing, which is definitely going to cause issues with Maelstrom when it gets released, is a grade 1 with boost, 5k shield, 7k base with a cool ass art, auto center, back or rear, very specific with... I literally just shit talking this about like the latest video I recorded, which is going up tomorrow, and I was shit talking about the back row center shit. When your rear guard attacks, if it's for the first battle of that turn, it gets plus 5. Okay, are we trying to find justifiable reason for this motherfucker to be in a deck? This motherfucker to be in a deck? Because I don't think 5k is going to fix it, buddy. I think 5k is going to do barely anything, but like, oops, I went too far. I mean, like, it's not bad. It's not bad, but it's not good either. It's like, meh. With what we currently have, I'm giving this a 2 of. If Maelstrom changes my mind, it's an immediate 3 over 4, depending on what the thing that changed my mind does. So, take that as you will. I like how Flagberg's getting support, but honestly, I question why are they doing it now with the sudden surge of Maelstrom? Why didn't they do this before we knew Maelstrom was coming out? That's my question. Why are we waiting until set 7 to get this shit when we could have gotten this shit earlier? I don't understand it, but whatever. 2 of for now, and Maelstrom will hopefully change my mind. Or later cards we get revealed will change my mind. And now into our last reveals for the day. Finally we get the long-awaited Rockargour and Performer, and we got that new Prayer Dragon. Honestly though, I'm kind of disappointed in how Falcate Performer looks because I honestly expected something completely different. So Falcate Performer, grade 1 boost, 5k shield, 8k base, on a rear when this unit boosts, choose up to 1 card from your drop zone, and if your soul does not have a card the same grade as that card, put it to soul. Okay. It's not bad. It also justifies my reason of not like going mass soul blast or like mass soul charges because now you have a free way to get something to soul. Not to mention the fact it works really good wonders in the early game for soul fixing. Now that I see it's not like a free get something to soul,
I don't know, because a lot of the times now I have duplicates, and yeah, it helps, but I don't know. Starting to really rethink my Falcate Performer love. Like, it's still good because it's a free soul. It's just like the same grade thing has somehow not become a problem anymore, so I'm like 50-50 on it, but I'm still willing to give it like a 3 of a try because the early game it does something. And then we have the long-awaited Demonic Stone Dragon Rockargour. Great god, I love this thing's art. Grade 2 intercept, 5k shield, 10k base. Auto rear once per turn when this unit attacks a grade 3 or greater unit. If your soul has 4 or more cards with different grades, he gets plus 10 ton of turn. And auto rear when you soul blast 4 or more cards at the same time for the cost of your Vanguard's ability. If your opponent's Vanguard's a grade 3 or greater, thankfully, counter boss won't stay on this unit. Okay, first off, this motherfucker is extremely generic because yeah, technically it doesn't do anything in Bruce, but if for some reason they restricted it from standing in Bruce, he could just stand himself. Any other Dark States ride line now that will Soul Blast more than 5 or Soul Blast more than 4 is essentially free Rockargour plays, and this is literally just a free 10k considering how generic he is. I mean, like, some decks will accomplish him better than others, and then some decks are this crazy bastard. Thankfully, they require it to be by Vanguard's ability for this to go off, so you can't just spam a very specific grade 1 that can soul blast multiple cards at once, but Agora All-Around's actually a really good card. Got a good art, got good numbers, got that restand. My only issue is that now I'm going to run into a counterboss problem with your Jewel because I've already been doing that, and this is definitely going to run it up, but hey, I got a restand I like the art of, so you know what, I'll give it to them. And then finally we have our new prayer dragon, Break Equip Dragon Urbargo. So grade 2 intercept 5k shield, 10k base, auto when he becomes an original dress, counterboss 1 soul charge 1, choose an opponent's rear guard and murder it. Okay, fair, does like half of Baul's job for him. My issue is, why does it have to be a counterblast always? We've had so many counterblast costs lately, can we not just have a discard cost, please? Like, it's fine. The soul charge and kill rearguard is cool. I really wish it was a discard instead of a counterblast, but you know what? It's an okay card. I'm willing to give it that. Maybe a 2 over 3 of. I mean, I'm definitely replacing it compared to what my current, or one of the prayer dragons I have, just because it does absolutely nothing for my deck, so 2 over 3 of, but I can't want more than that. And that's it for the reveals for the day. I hope you guys enjoyed. All around, we have some pretty decent cards. We finally got Rockargour and Falcate Performer, so now my Tragio deck is probably going to be complete. Vairina is going to go through a hell load of testing, but, you know, on the bright side, I'm going to recreate the anime fight between Michiru and Yu and see who actually deserved to win, and hopefully the overtriggers do not come up. So, I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't like, subscribe, join Discord, follow the Twitch, and I'll see you all in the next one. Don't forget to stand up your vanguards.